Last week we talked about the Vadlam Gate, the barrier between the Underworld and the terrors surrounding it. But what is surrounding it? Or should I say, who? This is the School of the Dead. I am your host and teacher for the day, Andrew Seco. I'm going to supply any supplementary texts or materials that you'll need, but our primary textbook will continue to be The Chronicle of the Underworld. Today we're going to dive into the origin of the Celestial Realm. In the world of the Court of the Dead, there are three main realms. Let's pull up a map and get a general layout and an overview. There's the Celestial Realm, which is comprised of two kingdoms, Heaven and Hell. To clarify, Heaven and Hell aren't separate realms, just two territories of the same realm. That's where the angels and demons have been warring between themselves since before time. They're not really all that different, but we'll get to them in a bit. And then there's the Mortal Realm. That's where all of humanity lives, though due to the meddling of angels and demons, there isn't exactly a lot of humanity per se. There's war and struggle as different ideological factions risk everything for the lies that have been fed to them. And then in the middle, sandwiched between the two, there's the Underworld. That's where the majority of our story takes place. See, the Celestials, that's Heaven and Hell, they force Death himself to collect souls from the mortal realm so that they can use them in their war. But the All-Taker won't stand for it. He hides as many mortals as he can in the Underworld, and he's building a rebellion against the Celestial oppressors so that balance can be restored in the universe. So the Underworld is where the All-Taker and his rebellion are growing in numbers and in power, and the people who live there are called mourners. But how did it all get this way? When did this war even begin? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's start at the very beginning. Edith, the Old Giver. One being that existed with and as a part of everything. It was everything. Edith was perfect balance, and everything in Edith was balanced. But in this eternal balance, a single thought echoed. It's hard to say what changed, and it's impossible and unreasonable to ask when it changed because time wasn't even a concept. But what matters is that something changed. A single thought echoed. Edith desired to understand itself. Edith longed for a mirror to see its true self reflected. Pulling at the energies within, Edith created a tear in the world. And inside it, there was nothing. Infinite nothingness and limitless potential. But it was not the mirror it was hoping for. But it was something else. And this tear inspired something new. Emotions, loneliness and excitement, side by side, woven together. A complicated and unraveling emotion. The balance could be maintained. It could be. But everything and nothing locked eyes, and everything felt despair. Everything craved another something, someone. Edith crawled through the crack in the world, hoping to manifest another. Edith left behind a realm of true spirit and unmade itself to create everything known as reality. Edith was pure etheria, the energy that fuels everything, and a single spark set off a chain reaction, and the world burned with etheria. Everything that could be, would be, might be, was, or is burned. And then, from the brightness of etheria, two new beings were formed. Twins. But twins of opposite nature. The two natures of Edith. The struggle that was once just inside the Old Giver's heart now made manifest. The twins, Priam and Abraxiel. Priam, a being of light and order. A being that craved only structure. Abraxiel, a being of chaos and shadow. A being that craved only disorder. These beings, crafted from the remnants of the Old Giver, were not too dissimilar from the Old Giver at heart. They desired to understand themselves. They longed for a mirror to see their true selves reflected, but instead, they saw each other. They were not the mirrors they were hoping for. They could not understand each other. And so they let each other be. They carved out their homes in the great nothingness surrounding them. And using the etheria, the energy that emanated from themselves, they created beings that could understand them. Pure reflections of themselves. Priam called his children angels. Abraxiel called his demons. But their children couldn't comprehend or accept their differences. While Priam and Abraxiel remained aloof, their children, the angels and demons, took action against each other. And so the war began. Angels and demons were created on, and the war raged on and on. But their creators were both equal parts of the old giver. They had equal power. Neither was right or wrong or good or bad. They were just two sides of the same coin. And the war could not be won because neither side was all that different from the other. And so the war raged on, and it rages on still. So that's the origin of heaven and hell. If you have any questions about the celestial realm, please ask us in any of our comments or social media, and we'll answer to the best of our ability. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of School of the Dead. Join us next week to learn about the origins of the Underworld and the mortal realm. Now go, mortals, rise, conquer, and rule.
Did you enjoy that video? Be sure to subscribe by hitting the S icon on your screen and click the bell icon to be notified whenever a new video is posted. If you'd like more info on the items featured in this video, click the link provided under product info. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to let your geek side show.